Bang, Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and today we are going to do a clip point and a Wharncliff back to back. We're going to do 5 of each, and this is the Hinder XM18 clip point buoy. But this one's a little special. It has a regrind done by BGM Knives, and it's a hollow regrind. Very, very well done. Also, it has one of my edges put on it because Talica used the sharpening service, so it has a beautiful mirror polished edge on it. Very, very sharp. But yeah, this hollow grind is done very well, and I love the transition between the satin finish on the hollow grind and then the etched stone wash on the flats up here. But clip point buoy, great knife. Hinder makes a great knife, but the clip point buoys, there's a lot of different kinds of clip points, as you're going to see as we move along. So also with the Wharncliffs, we have the Koenig Mini Goblin. This one I also sharpened. We'll take a quick look at the edge. I got a review coming up on it very soon. So, but Wharncliffs. Now, for me, what I've always thought of a Wharncliff, and I'm talking about a standard Wharncliff, is that from the spine, it starts from the spine and tapers all the way down to the edge, and then has a straight edge. Now, technically, this does not have a perfectly straight edge. It actually has a little bit of belly right in here. It kind of tapers up, which a lot of Wharncliffs do have. And you know, there's a big mixture between Wharncliffs and sheep's foots, because some of them are very similar, some of them they're hard to tell the difference between a Wharncliff and a sheep's foot. So, you know, like this is the Hinder half track, and this one has kind of the mixture of both. It's a straight edge, but it has this shelf right here, you know, that a sheep's foot normally has. But you know, this isn't one on the list. I just figured I would show it. But yeah, modified Wharncliffs and Wharncliffs are going to be on this list. So let's get to the next one. The next one is, take a look, CMP Knives Prowler. This is a Jelly Jerry design. This is also a knife, one of the giveaway knives this month for a Patreon. One of the giveaways. Anyways, titanium frame lock, M390, and as you can see, this blade is pretty wicked. It's pretty unique, but it definitely falls in line of a clip point blade. The blade looks like it has, originally the clip points were just like the, you know, basically were like the tips look like they're, you know, chipped off or clipped off. But, you know, you have the buoys and they all fall under clip point blade shapes. This one's just a little bit more wicked and has the tip that actually comes up just a little bit. But yeah, the review is coming up soon on this guy. Next, this is a new one that I have. This is the Concept Convict. I'm liking this thing, guys. This thing is pretty awesome. Titanium frame lock, S35 VN blade steel, and it has this thumb disc thing right here that works very, very well to thumb flick. And then it is a sheepdog design. They do have a few different options of this, including one that has milling put on the handle, like kind of like wood grain. But yeah, and as you can see, this blade, it has a tapering spine, but it kind of does like a hoop right here. I don't know what you'd call it, but it kind of goes up a little bit from here to here, and then right here to here, it kind of goes up and around. So not your typical Wharncliff, but has, I think it's a straight flat edge, at least for the most part. But anyways, let's get to the next one. The next one is the TUCSON TS267. Now, I'm not normally, like, there's some buoy or some clip point knives I like, but I'm not like the biggest fan. It's definitely not my number one blade shape, but some just really speak to me, and this is one of them. Just like a lot of the ones on this list. But the ergos are fantastic. The action is amazing on this thing. I mean, just really good. That was my fault. Really good action. And it has a really big front flipper on it. So it's very easy to use. Not a huge knife, but a great, great knife. 14C 28M blade steel. And this is more of a traditional clip point. And it's very, very well done. Titanium frame lock with carbon fiber. This is more of a bolster lock because you got the titanium frame lock covered by the carbon fiber. Titanium clip works extremely well, and this thing is very, very smooth. Great knife. Next, we got another TUCSON. The TUCSON TS 195. Now, this is a little bit more of a traditional Wharncliff because the edge is perfectly flat, but it does have this corner right here, right? So it's almost, if this was rounded right here instead of pointy, it would be basically, in my opinion, what I think of as a traditional Wharncliff. This one is an integral Mazwan Mokhtar design, and love the frag pattern. The ergos are fantastic. It does have a little finger choil right here, flat ground blade, and the action is insane. It has a lot of different ways of deployment. You have the flipper tab, but you have to do a light switch because, since it does have the front flipper right here, if you do a push button, this will hit. So you just do a light switch and it's very easy. Incredibly easy to do. Front flipping action is very good. Very easy to do as well. And then you got the reverse flick and the thumb flick. They all work very well. This thing is very, very solid, by the way. Extremely well built. I mean, it's a tank. Great knife. The TUCSON TS 195. Next, we have the Artisan Centauri. So the Artisan Centauri, this is more of a modified Wharncliff in my opinion, and I say that because it does have a significant amount of belly. It's not perfectly flat. You can see the belly right there, but the spine is in my opinion, a traditional style Wharncliff where it just slopes down. And beautiful carbon fiber, titanium frame lock, well done clip, Ray Laconico design. Action is really good. It is a front flipper, like I said, with a light enough detent that on mine I can easily reverse flick it. Great ergos, very compact and thin. Great slicer. It is a flat ground blade. And yeah, great knife. The Artisan Centauri. Next, we have, the big dog. This is the Demco AD20. Great knife, man. Solid knife. It has the shark lock on it. Oh, that lockup. When you feel the lock engage, it's like it sucks it in, and it's great. Great action. Very solid. I mean, it's built like a vault. Big, thick, hard use, heavy duty grind, flat ground blade. This one's in 20 CV. The jimping and finger choil right here really locks you in really good. And even though it is a big knife, it's not gigantic. It's really not. I know a lot of people look at it like, man, it's a beast of a knife. But in all reality, it's not that big. I mean, here's the XM24, and you can see how much bigger the XM24 is than the Demco. So, but great representation of a clip point buoy blade or a clip point blade, because basically the belly goes up to the tip. It has a flat area, a belly up to the tip, and then a straight flat spot in the spine where it goes over and straight down where the clip is. This would be the clip. So this would be the how it signifies or shows you that it's a clip point. Jeez. Now some people would say, well, that's close to a drop point. That's close to a drop point. But a drop point is different. A drop point is more like this, where it goes from the spine down to the tip rather than straight and then over. So that's going to be the big difference there. Like if you look at even the Spyderco PM2, if you look how it goes straight down to the spine. Now if this would be straight right here and then down, then that would be a clip point. But you do see drop points that do have a little bit, it seems like a clip point. Like let's look back at the Hinder XM24, how its spine tapers down and then right here it kind of clips down. But it's really just the same things, the spine still tapering down. But there are so many different kinds and different styles of the same blade shape. Now this one is G10 handles, the shark lock, which is amazing. Then nice clip, and it has 20 CV blade steel on this model. Awesome. Look at all the standoffs. Extremely well built. Very, very solid. Next, we got a big dog. Whoa! The Yo Jumbo, the Spyderco Yo Jumbo. Now, this is very similar to a traditional Wharncliff. I mean, we do have a couple of humps, but, you know, it's still straight blade, perfect straight blade, and for the most part, it tapers down to the tip. I mean, you do have these little humps, but beautiful example of a Wharncliff blade shape. Now, this thing is a big knife. Let's see it compared to the XM24 really quick, because they are similar in length. I mean, they're both basically the same length. So that's there to show you how big this guy is. This guy is a big guy. Now they have the smaller one, which is just the regular Yo Jumbo. I think the Yo Jumbo 2. This is the Yo Jumbo. It has a compression lock. This one has S30V blade steel, hollow ground, which I love, hollow ground blade, which is very, very well done, nice and thin behind the edge. You can see how acute that tip gets for utility cuts. This was originally for, I think, a self-defense knife. Now we have steel liners on the inside of there that are milled out, and like I said, the compression lock to make for really good action. Next, the Spyderco Slish Buoy. And like we were talking about before, you see how the clip point has the straight part in the spine right here, and then it drops down to the tip. Beautiful stone washing. This is the original one. Love the titanium frame lock. The wire clip works so good. And this thing is so smooth. I mean, it is ridiculously smooth. I love the action. And not even just the action, but just the build quality. It's very, very solid, yet when you're deploying and moving the blade, it feels like it's on glass. Very slicey with this tall, flat ground blade. Man, this thing cuts very, very well. CTS XHP steel. No lock bar insert, just a carbonized titanium lock bar or lock face. So action is great. Carries really good, cuts really good. Just a great EDC knife. It is more in the, I would call it a medium size. I always thought it was larger than it is before I got it, but it's a great size, great EDC size. Next and last, and in my opinion, this is a pure example of a traditional Wharncliff, in my opinion. The TUCSON TS, oh man, I think it's the 116, I think. I'll write it on the screen if I'm wrong, but see the tapering spine all the way down to the tip. Perfect flat edge. This one has a nice, good finger choil. This one's in G10 steel liners. It is a liner lock. Great action. Small flipper tab, but it works very well. Action is really good. And this one's kind of got like the half moon shape going, but it works very, very well. You can reverse flick it. This one's in 14C28N blade steel. And this thing is going to be a utility cutting beast. But yeah, that to me is a great example of a Wharncliff. Another one that's, just to pull another one up, that is a great example, is like the Kershaw Leak. This one's a hollow ground, 14C28M blade steel, aluminum handles. I have this one de-assisted. This is a USA made knife, but great example, great knife. This is like one of the best little EDC knives you can get anybody. Love that knife. But this to me is a great example of what a Wharncliff looks like. Next, we have our last buoy, and I'm going to pull two out just because, since I pulled two out for the Wharncliff, but we have the TUCSON TS 301. You see how it has, this isn't straight right here. It is ramped a little bit for your thumb, but then it clips down and you have a little bit of rise out of the tip. But it winds up working out still pretty good. Nice big belly, very tall flat grind. This thing slices like a champ. I mean, it is a great, great slicer. 14C28 on, yeah, blade steel. Micarta handles that are very well done. Beautiful carbon fiber, titanium. I guess you'd call this a liner lock, even though it is a frame lock, basically. I don't know. It's basically, it's a liner lock with the thickness of a frame lock. Very, very comfortable, and the choil is done very nice. This thing is a super slicer. Love this knife. And let's pull out the second one, and this is the Concept Wedge. Very, very nice. This is a lockback, beautiful carbon fiber. 154 CM blade steel, and as you can see here, a great example of a little clip point. Great little gent knife. Awesome, awesome little knife. This thing's very, very well done. And yeah, great little knife. And I can open it one-handed. I don't recommend it, but it is very smooth on the open, so very easy to deploy, and it is rock solid. So great little knife. There you guys go. There are more than 5, but 5 clip points and 5 Wharncliffs. I love you guys. Peace.